Hey guys, I'm going to show you how to turn a Raspberry Pi into network attached storage. First thing you need is a Raspberry Pi. You're also going to need a micro USB power supply, Ethernet cord, a USB keyboard, and an SD card. I'd say a minimum of 8 gigs and class 10. You're also going to need at least one external hard drive. You're going to download the image for your Raspberry Pi from raspberrypi.org/downloads. You're going to use Raspbian Wheezy. Use a program like Win32 Disk Imager to load the image onto the SD card. And then you're going to hook all your components up, plug it in, and it'll start installing. You'll come to a screen that looks something like this. First thing you want to do is go to Expand rootfs, select that. What that's going to do is allow the image to use the entire space of your SD card. Also, you might want to enable SSH if you want to be able to log into your Raspberry Pi remotely. After that, go to Finish, and when it asks if you want to reboot, say yes. I'm going to be using PuTTY to SSH into the Raspberry Pi. Alright, I have my PuTTY terminal open. To log into your Pi, the default username is Pi, and default password is Raspberry. Okay, I have a list of all the commands we're going to use over here on the left side. First thing you want to do is update the Pi. And this will take a few minutes to run, and I'll be back when it finishes. Alright, after that finishes, the next thing we're going to do is upgrade the system. And this will probably take a little longer than the updates. And again, I'll be back when it's done. Yeah, it's going to ask you if you want to continue. Just say yes. Alright, that literally took about an hour. Next thing we're going to do is run this right here. And this adds support for NTSF hard drive formatting. And this will probably take a couple minutes as well. Alright, next we're going to make sure that the Pi recognizes the hard drive as being attached. And there it is, the /dev/sda1. Alright, next we're going to create a new directory, and this is going to be the directory we mount the hard drive to. Okay, and then now we'll mount it. Alright, that didn't work, so what we're going to do is reboot the Raspberry Pi. I think that needs to happen now. Sudo reboot. And if you are using something like PuTTY to remote in, you're going to lose connection. Alright, let's try and reconnect. Okay, well, let's run that again, and it worked. Alright, next we're going to create another directory, and this is going to be the actual folder that we share. This is going to be the network folder. Okay, and I got an error because that file already exists on my hard drive, just because I've set this up before. But for yours, you shouldn't get that error. Okay, next thing, we're going to install Samba. And this is what will actually allow Raspberry Pi and Windows to communicate with each other. So we'll run that, and this will take a few minutes as well. So be back shortly. Oh, yes. Alright, now that Samba's installed, we're going to make a copy of the configuration file because we're going to have to make some changes to it, and we'll keep a copy of the original just in case. Alright, and now we're going to open up the configuration file in a text editor. I'm going to use Nano. Alright, we're looking for a section that looks like this, Authentication. And with Nano, we can do a search by pressing Control-W. Alright, I'm going to come down to this line right here where it says security equals user, and we're going to uncomment that out by deleting that pound sign. And then we're going to add this text down at the very bottom of the configuration file. Okay, and this right here in the brackets, that's what's going to show up as the name of your shared folder, so you can name it whatever you'd like. Okay, and we're going to save those changes by pressing Control-O, Enter, and Control-X. Alright, and now we want to restart Samba. Okay. Now we need to add a user. This is going to be the user who logs in for when it asks for credentials when accessing it through Windows. You can name this user whatever you want. Okay, now we're going to set a password. Sudo passwd. And confirm it. Okay. And now we need to set that user to Samba. Password again and confirm it. Okay. Alright. Next thing we need to do is we need to make sure that when the Raspberry Pi restarts that drive stays mounted. So we're going to edit the fstab file. Open that up in Nano again. Alright, we're going to add this line right here. We're going to put it right here. Save those changes. Alright, and let's see if it worked. Alright, that worked. Open up this folder, and you see there's nothing there, but we can create a new file. Let's make a text file, test, and we can come in here, and you see I've already been playing around with this a little bit, but now it shows up, and it works both ways. see it pops up over here. Alright, and that takes care of it. So you now have your very own network attached storage using your Raspberry Pi. Thanks for watching.